Good morning. My name is Eli Smith, and I'm here to talk to you about the idea that everyone should own an AR-15. If not an AR-15, at least a gun of some sort. Um, I believe an AR-15 is more of a gun, more than just a gun. There are multiple things people can do with it. Um, as, there are good things as well as very bad things, but I can explain later on how I believe they can be used to stop these evil things people use for them. First off, I'd like to explain that an AR-15 is an extremely versatile rifle. It has many qualities and functions that give this gun the ability to handle just about any job you throw at it. Um, I would also like to mention that it is extremely durable compared to some guns. Um, Most parts, including the barrel, are typically made of steel, and however, some of the outer parts, like the rail, are made of extremely strong plastic. However, you can exchange those and put metal rails on them. Um, these rifles are not only one of the most customizable guns available, but they're also the most versatile, like I just said. Here in a minute, I will show you a clip from YouTube of a man giving his story on how his AR-15 saved his life. Before I get to that, I would like to propose a few questions to you and let you think about them. What if every single person in the United States had an AR-15 and was properly taught how to use their weapon? Do you think it would reduce the number of home invasions, robberies, kidnappings, or even murders? Um, Say three or four people or plus break into your house, um, uh, and say you have a 5 round clip and a pistol, or three shells and a shotgun. Do you think you're a good enough shot to make those limited amount of rounds count? Because with an AR-15, you do have the ability to have a 30-round clip, and it's what I always keep in my AR-15. I have three of them, and it's always downstairs locked in the safe, so I always know where it is, and I always know what I need to do to get to it. Um, and obviously, all of us aren't expert marksmen, and by all means, I'm not saying that I'm one myself. Um, if you have a 30-round clip, it gives you multiple chances to hit your target and be successful in defending yourself in your home or wherever you may be. Um, because if you have a pistol or a shotgun with a limited number of rounds, um, then you might not be able to get the job done. Um, but now I'm going to show you this video I have for you. It's a prime example of how an AR-15 can save your life compared to a different gun. Um, but basically, it's just a guy talking about um, some people that were trying to break into his house one day. Um, I'll let him do all of the explaining for you.
Why do we need assault rifles? Why do we need AR-15s? I really can't answer that question any better than to tell you the story I'm about to tell you that happened to me. I was at home one day, early Saturday morning. I was in the bed. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful day outside. I had just gotten out of the bed, wiping the sweet sleep out of my eye and listening to the birds chirp outside when I heard a loud boom on my door. Boom, 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 boom. And it happened about three more times after that. So I quickly grabbed the pistol that was by my bedside, and I ran to my kitchen window where I could see who was banging at my back door. As I reached the kitchen window, I noticed that there were about 4 or 5 guys leaving my back door, walking through my backyard towards the alley. And a couple of them looked as if they had weapons in their hands, and a couple of them were reaching in their pockets like they had weapons. So I knew right then and there that the Springfield, the XDM 40 cal that I grabbed probably wasn't going to be enough to handle the situation. So I ran to my room and I grabbed my AR-15. As I ran from my room to the front of the house to check my checkpoint, my security checkpoints along the way, I noticed about 8 more guys on the corner approaching my house. And I saw about 3 of them having pistols in their hands. Okay, so now we're looking at a total of about 13 guys approaching me, some of them armed with obviously armed with weapons, and some of them possibly armed with weapons. Now let's say that we give the benefit of the doubt to the anti-gunners, and let's say every one of them had 10 rounds in their weapon. Okay, so we're looking at approximately 70 to 80 rounds coming my way. If I'd have kept my Springfield XDM 40 cal with its limited amount of magazines, I mean, it's a standard magazine for that gun, but that's only 15 rounds. Okay, my AR was the best tool for the job. I stepped onto my porch with my AR hidden behind my hip on my right side, and I tried to verbally de-escalate the situation. Didn't work. They weren't hearing what I was trying to say. Okay, they shot out some threats to take my weapons when I was gone. They shot out some nasty words. Some nasty looks were shot out. But fortunately enough, one of them saw my weapon and shot it out. Dude got a tech in his hand. So on that day, fortunately, my AR saved my behind, because after they saw that, they decided that might not be a smart thing to do. Okay, and those negative words, those negative looks, and all that, that's the only thing that was shot that day. And my AR saved my life. And on that day, the reason for why I needed an AR was earned and not learned. This is my AR-15. This is the weapon that saved my life that day. Now, I remember looking on YouTube one time and I saw a clip of Whoopi Goldberg on whatever.
I'm going to go ahead and just stop it there. But what I was talking about earlier, multiple people, they possibly have multiple weapons. Some guns just aren't going to get the job done, and that is a prime example of how an AR-15 can save your life just by its looks alone. And I'm going to get into the fear factor that it has here in just a second and explain how I believe that could be fixed. Now, did any of the story make sense to you? An AR-15 is an excellent defense weapon, but it can also be used for other things such as hunting. I personally am going tomorrow morning with my AR-15, and you don't necessarily have to have a 30-round magazine for this. But my point is, ARs are built for precisions and are very tough guns. If you happen to drop your gun at a regular gun or any other gun, it could be damaged, but ARs are built to be put through these tough situations and will not fail you when you need them. One of my last points is everyone owned an AR-15. Say if a foreign country invaded, which is very unlikely, given how our amazing military is very capable of defending the nation. But let's just say a foreign country invaded. Everyone would have a means to fight and take up arms for their nation. But regardless, in my opinion, the way the world is going, you can never be too sure of what anyone will do these days. And my last point to persuade you to own an AR-15 has to deal with the fear factor. It seems to have that. If everyone owned one and knew how to operate it correctly, then I believe that the fear factor that comes with that weapon would be greatly reduced or completely vanish. No one would be scared to hold one, to touch one, or to even shoot one. I hope I have put thoughts into your mind regarding the idea, and I hope you would consider owning one of these amazing weapons yourself. If you have any questions on how an AR-15 works, I would love to answer them. I beg you to think long and hard about the idea of giving you today, because you never know, one day you may need a gun like the AR-15. This is why I believe everyone should own an AR-15. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate you for listening to my speech. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and break and enjoy the time with your families.